I'm so excited to talk to Natalie Ard today from the Star Kids Company.
And
She
I'm excited to
created,
be here.
thank you so much. It's been fun getting to know you a little bit so far, and I'm really excited to chat. Um, when we were first reaching out to you to add your incredible product to our shop, which is new for us, we're brand new to sharing other people's products. But so many people told me that I absolutely
Aw,
had to check out what you created and that we should absolutely use
yay.
it for our family. And so I'm thrilled and
Yay.
just honored to have your really beautiful product in our
Oh, thank
shop.
you so much. Thank you. I'm honored to be on your shop.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, okay. I wanted to start out by just having you share a little bit about yourself
Yes.
and about your faith journey that led
Okay.
you to. I know it's important for you to raise your kids in the faith, which is
Yes.
what led to creating the Christmas Star from Afar so
hmm
that other families could have a really great tool to raise their kids in
Thank
faith.
you. Thank
So
you.
tell us a little bit about
So my
you.
name's Natalie. I live in the Northern California area to Dave, and I have three kids. So my kids now are a little bit older. Well, I guess they're not that old, but I have Lucy, who is 8, Michael, 11, and Grayson, who's 13.
Wow.
So the product Star from Afar was my very first product, and I
Mm.
made it for them. And it's so funny because it was so long ago that I started doing this activity with them. But my faith journey, so I was not really raised in the church. We
Mm.
were your Christmas, Easter family.
Yeah.
We would go on the major holidays. I really, an occasional vacation Bible school as a kid, but it did nothing that ever really stuck with me
Mm.
until I was older. So
Yeah.
I did not really, I would say that I became a Christian probably about 11 or 12 years ago.
Wow.
And I was led back to the church after I had my first. I just had this like
Mm.
desire and this urge to want to have her there and to want
That's neat.
well, yeah, it's, I think back, like, I mean, she was so little and I wanted her
Mm.
to go to Sunday school and instead it got me. So that's kind of, I feel like I've been who I am forever, but really it's, as a young mother is when I was led to my faith. So as my kids, the whole Star from Afar was born when my oldest, who's now 13, she was about, I want to say about 3 years old.
Mm.
And there was this product, that came out, which I'm sure a lot of people know about and still use it, a little hiding elf in your home. And as a young mother, I was trying to figure out, okay, I feel like so many things about my upbringing. You remember the traditions, you remember the things that you did every year. And I was trying to find something, I guess. And here at this store was this cute little product, and I bought it, and it was a total flop. Like day one, my daughter was petrified of this roaming around elf in our home, and so we had to
It's
write.
creepy.
It's creepy, and what was funny is the day I brought it home, my husband was like, "Are you sure about this? This seems a little strange." So we had to write a letter and ask it to leave our house, and
Wise.
um, yes, and so then, but then a couple years go by, and now is when this product has really hit mainstream. And
Mm.
my daughter came home from school, was like, "Mom, why don't we have an elf in our home?" And now at this point, I'm definitely grown more in my faith,
Mm.
and have refocused Christmas about really what truly Christmas is. And so I started looking for stuff online for her, and I couldn't find something that was more than just an advent calendar. I
Yeah.
wanted it to be more interactive and fun and playful. And, I think the whole reason why people are drawn to that other tradition is it's fun. Kids love hide and seek. Kids
Yeah.
love to like it's very interactive.
Mhm.
So I decided, okay, well, I'm going to just make something for her, but I'm going to have it focus on the story, and I'm going to have her understand that we as a family are all playing together. There's no magic. It's,
Mm.
this is a fun game that we're going to play, and it's going to lead you to baby Jesus on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Um, so it looked very different when we started. I had a cardboard star. I would read the story straight out of the Bible about the three wise men following the star, and then we would bring in the fun. And she just loved it. And it's like she was this little evangelist at school. She'd be like, well, oh no, we don't have an elf. We have a star. And it just was really, really sweet. And so we did this tradition for a couple of years. And my husband from day one was like, wait, we can't be the only family that would use something like this. At the time, there wasn't that many tools that were more of an interactive play-based learning tradition for a kid. Right. And so I, as a child, my main thing I loved to do was to draw, and I've always loved to write. And so finally, I think it was year 3, playing this little star game on our own, I was like, okay, I just kept getting those gentle pushes and nudges from God, being like, just do it. You can do it. That I've given you all you need to do. And right after that Christmas, I sat down and I started with the story, and then followed with the artwork, and then made it into a real product. And I fumbled through a lot of it because I had no idea. I thought it was going to be a side hobby.
That sounds familiar.
Hobby turned, what in the world have I got myself into? But I loved it. I felt very blessed and excited and happy. And it definitely it grew faster and bigger than I planned or really even knew how to navigate through, which was scary, but has really, in the end, been such an amazing blessing. So that's kind of how it started. It was me trying to think of something fun and entertaining for my kids that helped them remember Christmas as a tradition and help them remember what the real story of Christmas is. Because little kids, they have a short attention span, and they're often, their eyes and their minds turn towards the lights and the glitter and little things that are on TV, and walking through, a mall, and they see all the toys, and that it's very easily grabs their attention that Christmas is about gifts and about, have I been naughty and nice? And I just didn't want that to be for my kids. I wanted my kids to be prompted to ask questions a little bit more about Christmas as they got older. That the game would turn in more to a family conversation, and just and a conversation about a lot of different things, about faith, about tradition, about why we get to celebrate in the first place. So that's what it was born out of.
I love that. And I love that we're at the very beginning. So this will be our first year to do it as a family. We have a 4-year-old, an almost 2-year-old, and then a 3-month-old. So he will obviously sit out, but what I love is imagining how our boys will grow into this, and how they might even take turns hiding the star themselves, or like you said, that it's something that our whole family can do together, rather than something that feels other, like coming into our home. Yes. And I also love that it's not extra work for me. No. But it is a way of engaging their hearts and minds and even bodies, physically interacting. Yes. And the other thing that I really love is the book that comes along with it. You've got it in Spanish as well, which we don't have those in our shop yet. I hope to add them, but I love that you offer that. And the art is gorgeous. It's clear and bright and compelling. I know our boys, like you said, are just really attracted to bright colors, and that's normal. And so I love that it's filled with a lot of bright colors and crisp, clear images.
Well, and the pieces of the nativity set match, and you'll notice that they don't have faces on them, which is, I love modern artwork. That's just, I love very abstract, but at the same time, for a kid, I love that they can look it when you're talking about the 3 wise men and their journey and how hard it was, and they can envision what those faces might have looked like at the time, like what they were thinking. Were they happy? Were they scared? Were they surprised? So it leaves the opportunity for your imagination to be wide open when you're talking with this about your kids.
That's really well said. I know our church uses godly play for our kids' Sunday school and spiritual formation at the younger ages. And that posture of curiosity and wonder is such a big part of that curriculum and approach. And that's kind of a Montessori rooted way of approaching teaching kids Bible stories and raising them in faith. And what I love is that I've heard from a lot of families that do Montessori stuff with their kids, or families that do godly play at church, they have said that Star from Afar just fits right in with the way that they already want to raise their kids, rooted in play, based in respect for the scripture and for traditions, but also respect for the kid, that they're actively involved and that they're not being talked down to.
And that they get to learn at a child's pace too.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and the other thing that I really loved about this book is it takes you through the whole story. And then here at the end, I wanted to be sure to show there is a how to use page. We've got how-to pages in our planner because I think it is super helpful when you get started to have someone walk you through it. And they're clear. And like I said, it makes it really easy to get started. You can immediately envision your family and your kids playing with it. And then you've got these daily scriptures. And so Advent this year actually starts exactly on December 1st. So you can just start and go down. And then
so there's a fun way you can use those too.
Ooh, please tell me.
So this is what there are scripture cards that are those exact same verses.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
But and they have 5 more in case, in case there's more days to Advent, or if you want to play with which one you want to use. But how I use them at the beginning is I would hand write them on a piece of paper, and then I would roll it up into a little scroll, and I would tie like a teeny tiny little red ribbon around it. And then I would put it with the star. So at the time that, for my older children, when they begin to read, as they found the star, it was like there was a message waiting for the day, and they would read it to their siblings. And so it's just a way to kind of sneak some verses in there. And then if you prefer a different book, if you prefer King James over NIV, because those are NIV, you can write them out whichever you prefer. And it's just ways to kind of add some substance to what their fun play.
I love that. I think we are such believers in formation tools being really practical, really helpful, but also really beautiful and deeply rooted, Yeah. And I love that what you've created is all of those things.
Thank you. Yeah. You're so sweet.
It's really beautiful. So I'm going to show, this is the star, and you can hang it or move it around. Where are some places that you have hung yours or put yours?
Okay. So as the kids get older, it's fun to get a little bit more creative to really keep them on their toes, especially because my kids have done it for quite a few years now. I even one year I took duct tape and I taped it to the ceiling, because so you can be silly and playful. And then they had to figure out, like, how are we going to get our wise men up there? So I've done fun things where, like, I went to Hobby Lobby and got like a little teeny tiny, look like a hat with a scarf, and I put it in the freezer. And so I put the star in the freezer, or I've hid like Hershey's Kisses with it. You can, the little loop there is just to get creative if you ever want to like hang it from something, or I've looped ribbon through and tied it up to like a light fixture, and the kids love it when you do little silly things. So so it's there to get creative.
That's awesome. Well, and I like too that even if you're not hanging it from something, it makes it easy to affix or attach something to it, like the scripture for the day. So that's really fun. So Danielle Hitchin, who has catechesis books, and I normally have several of them. I was gonna say I normally have several on my desk, but actually she's got a new one coming out in January that she just mailed to me. But anyway, she makes these beautiful primers. They're board books. And so she is another one of my favorite resources for Christian spiritual formation for kids. And I was talking to her the other day on the phone, and she mentioned that they use Star from Afar with their family, and was talking about how much they love it and how they have done a tiny tweak on the verses so that they stretch it out all the way to Epiphany, so that the Magi actually arrive at the star on Epiphany, January 6th. Yes. And so I love that you can make it work for your family, and makes it really easy.
It's so simple and really sweet that that when it is simple, you can work it into traditions that you already have, that have been in long-standing place with your family, and you can weave it in however works. And especially because kids know that you're playing with them. Like you had mentioned before, so I have a 13-year-old, and she's still, still do the tradition, and they take turns. Whoever finds it gets to hide for the next night.
Yeah.
And so it just becomes one of those things that will be around forever. It doesn't lose its magic. It doesn't, it's just something that we do and we enjoy.
That's awesome. I know a couple of years ago, our pastor, former pastor, was doing the children's sermon each week during the service. And I know he did this for several years when I was there, although I was kind of at the tail end of his tenure. And I believe he did it for a long time before that, where he would put the various members of the Holy Family and the shepherds and the wise men and the star around the sanctuary. And then each week, as the children's sermon was happening, they would, read another section of that journey toward Jesus, towards Christmas. And the characters would get closer and closer and closer. So when I first heard of Star from Afar,
yes.
that was what it reminded me of, that it's this progress. And I know for a lot of people with their Advent calendars, you can have peace, love, hope, and joy, and then the Christ candle, or some people will do the different members of the Christmas story for each week. And I think Star from Afar fits with both of those really beautifully. Okay, so I'm curious, what else you have that are like favorite family traditions in your house that have helped you share your faith with your kids? And it can be related or not related.
I think, to share my faith with my kids, so one of the things that we do, and this is usually right after Thanksgiving, is before we make any type of Christmas list, before we start Christmas shopping, my kids each come up with a way that they would like to give or serve. It can be either way. So that's kind of how we kick off our Christmas. And I let them choose too. So like sometimes I'll kind of give some ideas because they get lost. But I remember one year, I think my little one, Lucy, was maybe 3, and she's like, I want to buy a baby and give it to somebody. And so, we went to the store and we bought a doll, and we went and dropped it off at the local fire department that was doing a toy drive. But that's been a great tradition. And it's about my faith, obviously, about giving and, helping others. But I just think it's a great way to start off the Christmas season in looking at the gifts more of a giving of gifts versus a receiving of gifts. So that is definitely one thing for a holiday tradition that we've really enjoyed doing. And just on a daily basis, as a mom, I really try to keep everything about my faith more of an open conversation all the time, and to where they can visually see and hear my faith in action. So that I'm very intentional about doing that. Something, if I'm worried about something and we're in the car pickup lane, worried about a friend that their child is having a hard time, I will pray for them right in front of my kids while they're in the car with me. So I love that they don't always have to be like a big grand gesture, a big grand event where we all have to sit down and do something. We decorate the family. Like we actually might do it tonight. I have never decorated my Christmas tree before Thanksgiving. But when you have a Christmas related product, sometimes you need some background for pictures. So, but we were going to do it last night, and my daughter's like, what? We don't have eggnog, and we don't have the movies recorded. So it's just little things like that they remember is the consistency of things over the years.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun ones you do?
Well, we're just at the beginning. We've only been parents for about 2.5 years, and I still very much feel like we are getting our feet under us and figuring things out. Guy, our oldest, loves Christmas lights. I've never seen anyone so excited about Christmas lights. And so my husband Grant is actually putting Christmas lights up on our house this week while Guy's out of school, so that Guy can help. Because he specifically asked if he could help put the Christmas lights up this year.
So sweet.
He's been really pumped. And
That's so sweet.
We try to do a lot of driving around and looking at Christmas lights, and we've kind of let him lead on as to what he really thinks is fun.
Okay.
So that's been really fun. Like I said, we're excited to start the Star from Afar this year. Also
they're good ages.
Yeah, it's
they
really
are.
fun. Both of our older boys also get really excited about pajamas. I mean, I'm all
I
for
do
blanket
too.
and coziness. Yeah, I mean, I think the absolute best money that I spent this last year was on some new pajamas that I got for myself that are just like the best. So I'm definitely pro pajama. Maybe they got it from me, but I specifically asked if they could pick out some new pajamas this year. And so I think we're going to do that, but we're trying to start kind of sweet and small.
Yeah.
Also, last year when we were kind of explaining Christmas gifts to him, that you buy or make or come up with something that you think the other person would really enjoy. Ideally, it's something that they would really love and enjoy.
Yes.
And if you can't find or think of something that you know for sure that they would love and enjoy, then you can also just share with them something that you love and enjoy as a way to say, like, I love this and I love you. I thought you might like it too.
Yeah.
And so last year, he immediately was like, I know what I want to get everybody for Christmas. And so there's a particular type of apricot jelly that he gets really excited about. I mean,
isn't that sweet?
But he got apricot jelly for everybody on his list that he wanted to give presents to. And I thought, it's a great way to have him start out thinking what he can share that he loves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like we're starting sweet and small. We do an Advent wreath.
Okay.
And have loved that. And yeah, kind of.
And see, they'll remember. And I feel like they build over the years too.
Yes, that's my
things
hope.
build and change. And but I also Christmas music is a big thing for us. Our family is my kids especially are really driven and relate well to music. So Christmas music and K-Love, like I constantly have music going. And that's a great tool for helping kids understand faith too, because they learn to sing all the songs. And
that's such a good point.
And I think eventually sometimes they know what they're saying, what the words like actually mean, but as they get older, they definitely know what they mean. And, driving to school with a great Christian song on it's just a great way to start your day, period. So that's also been definitely a way I share my faith with them, is through music.
That's really fun. Well, you might actually like some of our playlists that we've put together. So we have a playlist for each season in the Christian year. So we've got an Advent playlist, and I think that's the one that is most widely followed and downloaded. I think we have 5,000 people following it and listening to it on Spotify, which is really fun. And we continue to add music to it, but there's one for each season. And so if you're on Spotify, you can search for Sacred Ordinary Days. And we have a little emoji at the front of each of them because they were getting lost in all of the different playlists that I subscribe to. And so I put them on there for me and then realized, oh, that's helpful for other people too. So the Advent one has a candle at the front.
We will be checking it out. We were big Spotify fans. So
awesome. We kind of have a duel in our house. My husband is very Pandora. And I've been into Spotify lately. So, well, thank you. Thank you so much for chatting. And one other thing I was going to mention, we've gotten a couple of questions about white Jesus, Caucasian Jesus, European Jesus.
Yes.
And I just wanted to throw out that that's one of the other things that I really love about what y'all have created is that you have a brown set. And those are the ones that we stock in our shop. And I'll say, I love that our particular customer base, our kindreds, are aware of that and intentional about that and notice it.
Yes.
And so we actually posted a picture with the lighter skin the other day on Facebook and had several comments of people asking questions. And it just immediately made me know that oh, this matters to us. It matters to our customer base.
Yes.
And so even though I posted the wrong picture, that's totally on me. The ones in our shop are brown. And I love that you guys have intentionality around that. And you also have a stable animal.
Yes. So stable animals, it's an extra set. And I found that people often, when they buy, myself included, if you buy any type of nativity scene, you want all the pieces. And
Right.
so we came up with some extras, because there was only so many that we could fit in the packaging. And a fun way to have the stable animals is that you can have the stable animals, and they make a mess somewhere around in the vicinity of the star. And so, especially for the little ones, it's like they look for the mess and then they're going to go look around. So the stable animals have made a mess. So that's they're
awesome.
just cute pieces. There's a camel and a donkey and a bull, and so it's they're cute. And back to the skin tone too. So the first set that I made, I made something that was like, look like our family. And down the road, I was like, wait a minute, we need something more authentic here. But I couldn't go back and change what I already had. So we've offered the 2 sets. Yeah. But in the next product that we made, the Easter Story egg, you see all different color skin tones throughout the whole book, which I really love the multicultural feel of it too.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and we will have the Easter Story egg in our shop come Lent and Easter as well. And yeah, thanks for being willing to touch on that with me.
Yeah.
Well, I know that it's later for me. My boys are in bed, and you, I think, may actually be right in the middle of dinner. I heard some kids around earlier, but
yeah. No, we don't have school tomorrow. So we're going to have a little bit later dinner, and something's already in the crock pot. We're good to go.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Well, Natalie, I have so thoroughly enjoyed starting to get to know you, and
same here. Same here. Thank you for
joining us.
Okay.
Thanks very much. Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.